Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well. I am in a serious need of some sprints. We may only do 2 or 3 sprints this evening just because I do have plans later tonight. However, I am in, like I said, some serious need of sprints. And I have been sick, and since I got well, I have been extremely busy. Things have been a little unstable in my personal life, and I am feeling stressed. And I today is my first day off in 2 weeks. So I need to get my life in order, get my planners in order, do some serious thinking about Q2 and focus on my HB90 planning. I need to also plan for the rough draft challenge in April. So I've got a lot going on, and I need to kind of quiet my mind and get things written down so things can stop just bouncing around in my head. Hello, Miranda. Hello, Havron. I hope you two are doing well this afternoon. Thanks for coming and hanging out on some last minute sprints. But I was, excuse me, I was thinking of, I still will be making videos for my Q2 planning and rough draft challenge. I haven't decided if I'm going to put them into one YouTube video or make them separate YouTube videos. However, I decided that doing the actual planning in a video is sometimes a little stressful because I'm focusing and thinking about the quality of the video, and so I feel like it takes away from some of my ability to concentrate on actual planning. So I thought maybe a live stream would be easier to do my actual planning. Once my plan is complete, then I can make a YouTube or two video about my plan of attack for Q2 and the rough draft challenge. So I would love to know what anyone else is working on. If you are working on a project, or you're writing, or you're scrambling like me to come up with your Q2 plan. But I am thinking we can just jump right in. It might be a little bit of a shorter stream today. I don't think I will be able to go the full 2 hours just because, like I said, I do have some plans this evening, and my to do list is impossibly long. And planning and creating your plan of attack for your to do list is good, but at some point I can kind of get lost in that planning stage, and at some point I just have to get up and do it. So I have a cup of room temperature coffee from this morning that was left in the pot, and I think I'm ready to get started. And we will set the timer for 25 minutes, and we'll get some work done, and I'm going to work on getting my shit together. So I will see you on the other side. All right. My timer did not go off, I think because I have my microphone plugged in actually, and I'm not using the microphone on my webcam. So I hope I didn't startle you by starting to speak. Gail and Miranda are handwriting their rough draft challenge planners, and that sounds like a lot of work, but it sounds like really cool at the same time because you can customize it to exactly what you want. And Gail is using pastel highlighters, so you can kind of choose your color scheme and everything. So I think I got my brain sorted, my Sterling ink N1 planner, and I did not stick these stickers on. They're just taped on with washi tape, but I have a couple Coffee Monsters Co. stickers on the front of it, and I finished sorting my brain and kind of got organized, made a bunch of notes in my planner, and then excuse me, my voice is kind of hoarse this afternoon. This is a savings challenge binder. I purchased this from the Aesthetic Dollar, which you can go down a rabbit hole. She is on YouTube and she has a website where you can purchase things. And this is a savings challenge binder for pets. So the different categories are, you can see here, food, toys, treats, training, equipment, emergency, vet visits, bedding, grooming, boarding, and immunizations. So what I am doing on each of these pages, it gives you bubbles. You color in the bubbles as you save money and set it aside. And at the bottom here, you can decide the denomination and amount you want to save. So what I'm doing is going through and kind of calculating costs for all of these so I can then determine how much I will want to save in each of these categories. So that's what I'm working on this sprint, this next sprint, and I will also be jumping into my HB90 planning. Let's see what everyone else was working on. Gail's making dinner, I believe. Aria's here, Varian Sloth. Ghosty joined us. And I know Ghosty was working on organization and now is working on the Rough Draft Challenge Planner, along with, let's see, someone else was working on it. Miranda, is that you? I lost where I was in the chat now. Let's see. Havron is refilling the well. You sprinted for 4 hours today. My goodness. And it's midnight in Iceland. I don't think I'd still be awake at midnight, but I hope you're resting and enjoying some quiet time. Gail uses an A6 or a 6-ring A5 binder with dot grid pages. I assume you're talking about for your Rough Draft Challenge planner. Ghosty, you love savings challenge binders. Nice. That's a great way to save for a vacation. I will show y'all another time when I'm not so easily distracted. But I have and probably in an upcoming video soon-ish. I've shown it once or twice before, but I have a savings challenge binder here where I am stashing away some cash so I don't spend it. Let's see. Oh yeah, Ghosty, I'd be happy to. Whoa. Did not mean to do that. Oh no. I would be happy to type out the channel name. And it is also a website. I'm blanking on the woman's name. I can't remember off the top of my head, which is silly because I binged like 4 of her videos this morning. Um, Martina, now you made me curious. Yeah, she has a lot of different savings challenges. And the nice thing about a lot of them is that they're reusable. So you can take, I think she just recommends like water and maybe a little bit of soap, but not rubbing alcohol because it'll kind of eat away at the material of the paper. But I was gonna say I'd also be happy to put the website in. But it's nice because the challenge pages where you color in all of the bubbles are reusable. Um, I think there's maybe a few that she gives away for freebies and such that are not reusable, but it's really nice. So I've got a few of her savings challenges, and right now I'm working up to saving. It sounds like an oddly specific amount, but it is the amount in her denominations savings challenge binder, except for the 50 and $100 denominations. I'm doing ones, fives, tens, and 20s, and filling in all of the bubbles for those 4 denominations will help me save $1,728. So it's my goal to save that much this year. And so far, if I can keep contributing to it every week at the rate that I am, I will save up to that amount by October, so a couple months early. And I am going to set aside $1,000 of it as an emergency fund. And then the other 728 I am going to use to hopefully pay off one of my credit cards. So by the time we get to the end of the year or October, when I have the amount saved, I should have $728 or less of a balance on this credit card. So that's my plan. And we can, maybe I'll do a video and we can chat all about it, but we should probably get back to a sprint. I know that, oh God, I can't believe I'm blanking on her name right now. But the woman who runs Aesthetic Dollar, she does talk a lot about the Dave Ramsey stuff, more so in her older videos, when her and her husband were trying to get out of debt. And they have since gotten out of debt by cash stuffing. But she does use some of his kind of practices, I guess, because she does talk about him. And I think she uses his app. It's called the Every Dollar app. No, I can't remember if that one's connected to Dave Ramsey or not. But there's an app called Every Dollar, which helps you kind of track your spending, to kind of determine where your money is going. G.Y.S.T, that's what you and your husband did when you started Dave Ramsey to save up. We use cash envelopes. Now we have a lot of different debit cards that you labeled. Nice. I think I would confuse myself with multiple accounts, but I've heard a lot of success stories from people who just have certain debit cards and do exactly what you do, where you label them for this or that or the other. We will restart the timer. So we'll definitely do one more sprint, and I don't know, what time is it? 5:10. Let's see how much I get done in this next sprint. Sorry to be wishy-washy, but we will see. And I will see you in 25 minutes. All right. Hopefully I'm not startling anyone. Trying to do a gentle callback out of our sprint. How did everyone do? Excuse me, my throat is really froggy. We have Alexis joining us. Hello, hello. I do think I recognize your username. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know how I spent all 25 minutes of the sprint still working on this pet binder when I'm supposed to be working on my HB90. I definitely feel some resistance to doing my HB90 planning because my year has just not gone the way I thought it would at all. So I know that the only one putting pressure on myself and saying I'm behind is me. However, I do feel behind in my kind of goals that I have set out for this year. And I know I'm not alone in that. However, doesn't make it feel better. So I am going through all of these different categories in my binder and trying to calculate how much money I would spend on things like a bag of pet food or a vet exam. Excuse me. However, my husband and I, if you're new here, we do not have any children, but we have 3 dogs and we have 4 cats. And sometimes it feels like we're busy, like folks that have children. So what I am doing is calculating the amount that all of our pet foods cost if everyone were to run out of food at the same time and we had to buy everything at once. So between our 7 animals, we buy 4 different types of food. So I'm calculating how much food everyone goes through in a month and then multiplying that by 12. And I'm kind of trying to do that with all of these categories so that I can start saving to get essentially a year ahead on all of the pet expenses. Some things are not like a yearly expense, like the emergency. That's just going to be a flat number because hopefully you're not using an emergency fund or an emergency vet fund every year. So that I'm just kind of doing a flat number. But adding up all of this stuff and thinking about how much we actually spend on our animals every year is a lot. Food alone, I calculated to be, for 1 year, if everyone's food stays the same, everyone's food is about $3,200 a year just in pet food. So there's a lot. I calculated the vet expenses, just regular exams, to be $1,100. Everyone's immunizations a year, I calculated to be like $432. And I am building in a little bit of a buffer because, I don't want, let's say, one bubble in here to be $74.32 when you multiply the dollar amount with the bubbles. So I am kind of rounding up in my numbers to kind of make these a little more padded than not. but it's a little terrifying to see how much money we spend, even though I kind of know, but to see the numbers in front of my face all at once is a little intimidating. Let's see. Ghosty says, I'm not late. I'm right on time for my goals. Thank you. That's sweet. Gail says, fur babies are worth every penny. I agree. My my husband my husband loves dogs, but he loves cats. And I love cats, but I love dogs. So I feel like he and I are kind of, when we're thinking about a new pet, he and I are kind of trying to go tit for tat on that. However, it doesn't always happen that way. One of our cats, our youngest, we literally found in the bushes outside our bedroom window, and we weren't planning on getting him, but there he was. So now he's our special boy. He's got two of our cats have health issues, and so it's a little more intensive to take care of them. And then our oldest dog is Nova, and she is an 11-and-a-half-year-old German Shepherd. So she's getting older too, and she's going to start needing more care, I fear. The CDs, what CDs? CDS? I don't know what CDS is. Let me know. But I'm trying to finish out my savings challenge that I'm doing this year. Because, like I said, I want to get to that $1,728 amount first. And then the cat distribution system. I love that, Gail. That's great. Ghosty doesn't have pets, but you have two boys under the age of 5. Yeah. I bet they make as much mess as pets, or I bet my pets make as much of a mess as your boys. Yeah, you're going through the thick of it. Stay strong, Ghosty. But it sounds like you have a fun time with them. They sound very sweet. You do your art time with them and everything, and you watch that painter on YouTube and do watercolors with your boys, or at least the older one. But like I was saying, after I complete my savings challenge, I do plan on starting to stuff this binder. This will be my next project for cash savings, is to try and get ahead with pet expenses. So, Echo, would you prefer I call you Echo or Alexis? Let me know. You have a 10-year-old and an 11-year-old this year. You're preparing for puberty. Oh boy, I wish you luck. You'll consider my pets the same amount of work as the kids. Ghosty, they're sweet. I love them. Thank you. Yeah, they are, not to say that one dog or one cat is not a lot of work, because it is, but you multiply it by 7, and I'm just here to serve them. My husband and I bought our pets a house. We didn't buy ourselves a house. Your cat is 10 years old in April, Havron. Aw, what a sweetie. Yeah, I'm sure you're just kind of waiting, Alexis, for that puberty to kick in. Okay, you can go by either one. I might bounce back and forth and call you Echo and Alexis, so, which sounds like is fine to you. But I say let's do one more sprint, because I think I have like one more page in here to calculate expenses for, and then I need to stop procrastinating and do my HB90 planning. So I am pushing it a little bit with my luck right now, because my pets eat dinner at 6 and it is currently 5:45 on the West Coast. So good thing my mic is muted, because we're kind of entering the witching hour. Everyone gets a little loopy before dinner, but so far everyone's chilling. But let's do one more sprint, and I will see you in 25 minutes. right. That is the end of our sprint. Let me know how you did. I finished working on my binder for the pet savings challenge, so I feel confident in the numbers I've created. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I tried to do it gently. Next time, I will remember to not plug my microphone in and just use my webcam microphone so that we get the nice little kind of like dinging, chiming sound of the timer here. I did start. What did you find? One of my youngest dog just came into my office and he was chewing on something. What did you find? So let me know what you got up to. I did just barely start working on my HB90 plan for Q2. I would love to do one more sprint. However, I don't think the animals will let me do one more. Oh, Nova, would you like to say hi? Okay, pretty girl. Nova. Hi, pretty girl. Hi. That is my elderly lady. That's Nova. She's my German Shepherd, purebred at least. But yeah, I would love to know what you worked on, what you got up to. Nova. Sorry. If anyone else has dogs, sorry. That was Nova. She says hello. Let's see. Martina says, thanks for the pop-up sprints. You're almost done with your Kanban board. I say board, but it's in your planner. That's fine. It doesn't have to be a physical board. That's great that you're already almost done with your Kanban board. I have mine kind of right here behind or next to my desk. And I set up my Kanban board every month just because seeing 3 months at a time is, there's a lot of sticky notes and it kind of overwhelms me. So I refresh my Kanban board every month instead of every quarter. Let's see. Gail says you're almost done with your rough draft challenge binder. That's so great. I hope you can find time to finish it tonight. I'm probably going to do a solo sprint or two after I feed, probably just one after I feed my animals. I do have a friend's birthday party tonight and tomorrow evening. So I do have plans here in a couple hours, but I would like to get a little more of this done before I go. You're welcome, Ghosty. Yeah, Nova's she's my sweetheart. She's a pretty girl. She's intelligent. I tell her she has everything. Most of us aren't blessed with beauty and brains, but she's got it all. Yeah, she's my sweet old lady gal. She's still fiery though. So, all right. Well, thank you for joining me kind of on a whim, unexpectedly. I was wanting to find time to stream this weekend and was just unsure of if or where I could fit it in. So I'm glad that we got this time together, and I hope everyone has a lovely rest of their night, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world. And I will be back not tomorrow, but Sunday, March 29th. I am doing a kind of bonus pop-up stream, not quite as spontaneous as this one, but I will be doing a stream, writing productivity stream at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. And I will hopefully see you there and in other folks' sprints. But Nova's demanding, but until I see you again, I hope you have a great night. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you real soon. Bye, friends.